Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
Hello, welcome to the Poet's Interests with Marilyn and Ryan. I am Ryan Cummins, the co-host of tonight's broadcast, and Marilyn Ann Francis is the host of today's broadcast. Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, Ryan. Nice to hear you, and I'm glad that everyone's here tonight, and Shayna's here, that we get to ask her a lot of questions about what she's doing to help raise awareness to autism, and it's going to be a great show.
Yep, it will, and I'm actually going to start off the broadcast with a poem tonight, and just to give a little bit of background information, I'm on the autism spectrum myself. I was diagnosed with pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, when I was about 12 years old, and as a result of being on the spectrum, I've dealt with a lot of anxiety, which is not a very pleasant experience, and I wrote a poem to try to describe the feeling that is associated with anxiety, so I'll read that right now, and then we can get to the questions you have, Marilyn, in just a couple minutes. Irrational fear grips me at the times when I am most vulnerable, when I am anxious. It is at these times when my decisions seem irrelevant, my accomplishments seem null. Everything I am is dictated by my fears. My feelings determine all. Such are the challenges of anxiety. And that's it. Are you still there, Marilyn?
I like that. Yes, I like that poem. I know I've had a lot of anxiety, more than I think I even have ever known. I think a person doesn't even really understand what it is. And I know I've had to be doctored for it lately, and it's really helped a lot. So there is a lot of help out there for anxiety, and I just encourage everybody to go to your doctor or anybody to help with that, because it keeps you from doing so many things in life, and there is help out there, right, Ryan?
Yep, there is, and that help is available at places where you might not expect, such as like conversing any like anxiety you might have with your friends or family, or just sometimes just letting it out is the best way to do it. And I think that's a good point right there, right, Marilyn?
Yeah, and I know music helps, and Shayna's here to tell us all about what she does with music to raise awareness to autism and help everybody on the spectrum, and really everybody in the world is helped by music, right, Shayna?
That's right. They really are. And I definitely have anxiety myself, just to let you guys know, as well. And I am currently getting treated for that, because it has gotten in the way of a lot of things that I like to do. So I really enjoyed your poem, Ryan. I think that was just beautiful, and it really says so much. Sometimes, we can't put it in words, and so I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. Do you find that playing music or performing music helps your anxiety, Shayna?
Well, I do when I'm by myself, but at home it can actually trigger it, or outside, when you go and play a show, of course you get really nervous, and but I try to put it in a positive direction. I remind myself that it's what I love to do, and I just move forward.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. We have another caller in with us right now. Can you hear us all right? Cassidy?
Yes, this is Cass.
Yes.
Glad you...
Hi, Cassidy.
Hi, Cass.
Cassidy's going to be our new talk show hostess for teens. It's going to be called Positively Autistic, the Teen Scene. And I know it's going to be a great show, and it's going to start Thursday. I believe, Ryan, are you going to be there with her? And I believe, aren't you, Ryan?
Yep, I'm going to be the co-host of the new show with Cassidy. And do you want to talk a little bit about the broadcast we're going to do tomorrow, Cassidy?
Yes. the broadcast tomorrow will be about my diagnosis with Asperger's syndrome and how it affected me and the issues that went with it. And it should be a great show. So, I'm going to talk about that. And yeah, so it should be great.
Yep, it will be a great show tomorrow. Everyone on the spectrum, we all have our own story. When you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Each one of us is very different from one another, but by sharing each of our stories, we might help someone else who is struggling with similar problems at another stage of their life. And I believe very strongly that someone on the autism spectrum under the right conditions can literally change the world. And through those right conditions, it helps to have a good support group, and that's what we try to do here with Positively Autistic and everything.
That's fantastic.
Yep, so we can get started with the questions right now if you're ready, Marilyn. Shayna, where are you from?
I currently live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona.
You're in the heart of music land.
I am.
Yep.
Have you been to the old Opry House?
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of wonderful music here. The Grand Ole Opry, and we have the Ryman.
Yeah.
And we have a brand new convention center that's actually being built right now. So lots of good stuff.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the Songs for Autism?
Sure. It kind of started off as just a dream, like most things do. And basically, it's an up-and-coming nonprofit that I'm starting, and it's to benefit awareness for early intervention services in Tennessee. We have, unfortunately, not a lot of funding here in Tennessee, and the Insurance Reform Act has not been passed here. So a lot of families are struggling financially, and a lot of children, especially between the ages of 1 and 5, are not receiving proper early intervention services.
In my case, I was...
expect that thing hopefully soon. I know that they say that 1 in 55 children are being diagnosed with some form of autism, and it's touching every sector, rich and poor, people in the government, and everybody's going to be touched by this, and things will be changing, I'm sure.
Yes, we hope so. Well, basically, that's what I do. Is I'm a songwriter, and I figured, well, we have millions of songwriters in Nashville, not just country, but singer-songwriters, rock music, every genre you can think of. And
really?
I thought, and I thought to myself, well, hey, why don't I, start a nonprofit? And what if I start asking people that I see out and about playing shows, what if I ask them to donate a song and make an album? And, we can put on concerts to benefit awareness for, this issue. And hopefully, raise awareness to have it changed, but also to give families, maybe some sensory supplies or tools or education, something to impact these lives, because there's just not enough being done here. And I can say that because I have 3 children of my own, and 2 are on the spectrum.
Oh, really?
And we were, we were very, very fortunate to be living in California, and my son was diagnosed, my oldest son, with classic autism, and he received services that were absolutely incredible. And so I suppose that's what started it for me, is that I saw my son, who was not speaking at 3.5 years old, to speaking at 4.5 years old. He just changed within a year. And I believe that this is because of early intervention. So I'm a very big advocate for it.
In my case, oh, sorry, Marilyn.
Yeah, I was going to say how you were something like that, too. You can go ahead and tell her about you, Ryan.
Yep, in my case, I was not diagnosed with autism or PDD-NOS until I was about 12 years old, but I did have a language delay when I was younger. I lost my ability to communicate verbally when I was about 2 years old, and then my mom worked with me a lot, playing music, talking to me a lot, and I regained my language skills at about like 3 and a half. My birthday's in April. I think I started talking again that summer. So even then, I wasn't diagnosed with autism. I received a different diagnosis. I forget exactly what that was, but some of the medications I was given when I was younger didn't necessarily help me, but I received the help I desperately needed when I was 12 and made the honor roll the next year, and it kind of went snowball from there.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Marilyn, Robert Hewitt's with us now.
Hi, Marilyn.
Oh, great, Robert. Hi, Bob. I'm glad you came.
Thank you.
Bet you have a good poem for us tonight.
I have a couple. I'm back on the children's genre tonight. These are two for children.
Great.
So whenever you want them.
Shayna is going to love your poetry, and I'm sure she may even write poetry and songs. Do you, Shayna?
I do. I write mainly songs now, but in the past I have written poetry. I'm a big fan.
I think most songs are poems first. I do. I write a lot of poetry, and I've seen a lot of them turned into music. And Robert has some wonderful poetry, and we're going to let him go ahead and recite one of his poems right now, okay?
Okay.
All right. This is titled When I Grow Up, and it's written from the perspective of a 9-year-old girl, so just pretend that you're a 9-year-old girl and you're reading this. I'm as grown up as I need to be, and wiser than my parents can see. In math and spelling, I'm a whiz, and geography is my easiest quiz. What will you be when you grow up? Grown-ups are always asked as I fill their cups. That's just not very important, you see. I know all that I need to know to be me. I could be an astronaut and fly to the stars. I'll become a hippie and play my guitar. Maybe a famous doctor I will be, saving all the sick children brought to me. A horse trainer is a possibility too, but a dolphin trainer would also do. I could tame lions and tigers with ease and swing about on the flying trapeze. There are so many possibilities, you see. Deciding is just too hard for me. I am content and busy as a bee, dreaming of what age 10 will bring to me.
Yay!
That was wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a really good one.
That brought me back to age 9. That's how I thought, and I wanted to be a hippie, and I love geography. I'm still not good at math, though.
Well, it's, the thing of the poem is to tell you to enjoy life now and don't worry too much about what you'll be when you're grown. Kids want to grow up
so fast.
Yeah, kids grow so fast. But, parents oftentimes think children, not only in body but in mind, are smaller and capable of less comprehension than they really are. And I think that we have to be kind of removed from the parent role to see how grown-up kids can be.
Yeah, I know. As a parent, I've done that too. I'll do that with Leslie. I'll call her baby, and she's not. She's 30. But we just want them to stay babies, I guess.
Yeah. I'm 79. I go in these stores, and these cashiers are always Okay, baby, okay, Doc. That's the one. You know, I think they ought to save those for people they really care about.
Yeah.
Yep. If Marilyn's okay with it, if you're okay with it, do you want to go back to the questions we have for Shayna?
Yes, Shayna. Do you work where you're at? Do you have a regular, daytime job where you're at?
Actually, I stay home with my boys. I have since my oldest son was diagnosed.
What's their ages?
My oldest is 7. I have a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh,
so I
know that. You're busy. I had 3 boys and Leslie, so yes.
Yeah.
Say no more. You work harder
exactly.
than if you went to work. I know.
Yeah, it's a full-time job, but I do stay home with them. I thought it was very important for me to be here with them.
It is.
Especially through the early years until school age. And I'm a full-time student at Kaplan University too, so I'm busy. I got my plate full.
Oh my! What are you taking in college?
I am after a BS in childhood development, and then I hope to move on to graduate school and become an occupational therapist.
Oh,
that
you'll
sounds
be
like
great.
a plan.
Definitely.
I have a grandson who's is in graduate school at Vanderbilt.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful.
He's getting his master's in social work. He was been pretty big into homeless teenagers and people like that.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I'd like to interview him sometime. I know he's got a lot of...
Good. He's very bright.
Oh, great. Yeah, we'll have to hook up with him, and I imagine he's got a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, he didn't tell you how. He got a $40,000 grant from the Bill Gates Foundation.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's not an easy school to get into. It really isn't. That's wonderful.
He said it was his first. He graduated from University of Washington in Seattle.
Yay! Cool.
Yeah, that's a plan. That sounds like your pretty good accomplishment there. If Marilyn, if you're okay, do you want to play one of Colin's songs right now?
Yeah, Shayna, you will like Colin Bruin. I don't know if you've heard of him yet before, but he is he's 10 now, isn't he, Ryan?
Yep, he's 10 years old. Colin's on the autism spectrum, and he is just a great singer. Have you ever heard of his music before, Shayna?
No, I haven't, but I'm anxious.
Yep, so
let's hear it.
You can buy his CD if you like the music. You can buy his CD through us, and I play it for my little girl all day long. She just loves it, and we'll go ahead and play it. And I know Cassidy likes it, don't you, Cassidy?
Yes, I do.
Yep, she likes it too, and I know Bob does too.
Oh yes, I got to get a copy. I keep meaning to write you and ask you where I send my money and how much.
Okay, I'll make sure you get that information and hit it, Ryan.
Yep, we'll be right back after this short break. Hello, welcome back to the Poet's Interest with Marilyn and Ryan. Shayna, what did you think of that song?
Oh, it was beautiful. A beautiful voice. It's such a touching song too. I really enjoyed it. And that's great. So you said that you can actually buy his music on your website. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. Right, Marilyn? Or wait, well, the way it works is you can let us know if you're interested in purchasing a CD, and we can inform Colin's father, Gordon, who will arrange the purchase, and all proceeds from the CDs go to benefit Positively Autistic. So it's a good way to help benefit our cause as well as enjoy some great music by an excellent young kid.
Yeah, if he was on tonight, if he would come on, he would just sing right on the spot, right on any of our shows, and wherever he's at. He's had sang for us at a train station a few weeks back, and he just has perfect pitch, and he's fantastic.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, Colin does such a great job. He won first place in a talent competition a couple months ago back in May when he performed one of his songs in front of about 1,000 people. So that was just great. And I think he also participated in the equivalent of Canada's Got Talent and placed in the top scene, if I remember right. And next month he's going to perform live in New York City at the Genius of Autism event, and we're going to try to talk with Colin and his father Gordon on one of our Positively Autistic broadcasts while he's over there, so that's definitely one to look forward to as well.
Yes, it's really exciting, and I know Shayna has gone to a lot of music awards probably and things like that, and to have it live on air and us be able to bring that into the show is really fantastic. We've done that with him one other time, and it was really exciting.
Yeah, that's very special and very exciting, and that's just wonderful for him that he has found such a gift and has chosen to use it in such a positive way, and he's spreading his own awareness.
He has great parents, and they do all they can to get him settled in life, that he will be able to do this for the rest of his life, I believe. I know he's headed for Broadway. He's been singing some of the Broadway songs, and it's just fantastic. He's just very, very professional, and he is, like you said, he's headed for New York now. So fantastic. Listen for that show. And then I was wondering, Shayna, do you have music that we can buy, or do you sing? You do sing?
I do, yeah. I actually, we have two sites on Reverb Nation, and one is my own stuff that I write, and it's www.reverbnation.com/TuesdayHawkins. All of my music that I write and have produced on there, if you buy it, 100% of the donations go to Songs for Autism to help families here in Tennessee. And we also have a Songs for Autism page as well there.
Now, can we go on Facebook and find all that on your site?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and you just put in the search box Shayna Wolford Foley?
That's correct.
I'm sorry, that was me.
How do you spell your last name, Shayna?
It is WOFFORD, and it's -FOLEY.
Hey, Shayna, would you like to sing a song for us tonight?
Well, I don't really have one prepared. But I can share with you some lyrics that have recently really inspired me.
Well, that'd be great. We're ready for it, go ahead and do it.
Okay. I listen to a lot of music, and there's a lot of independent bands that I love out here that are playing and singing all over the country on their own. Yeah. And I hope one day will donate a song to us to help the cause. But one of my favorite bands, they're called DAWS, and it's DAWES. They have a fantastic song. I suggest you check it out. It's called A Little Bit of Everything. And there is a line in the song that just so hits home, not just for me, but I think for everybody that thinks differently or is a little bit different. The line I'd like for you to hear is this one. It goes, all these psychics and these doctors, they're all right and they're all wrong. It's like trying to make out every word when we should simply hum along. And every time I hear that, I am just floored, because that is exactly what it's like for my boys. It really is.
Yeah, I just went through that with doctors. My little girl was in the hospital for a week, and I don't think any of them ever came up with the answer.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. And Ryan, as you were saying about your mother being a huge influence and a part of your early intervention at 12, I absolutely agree with that. Mm-hmm. And I really encourage other parents to be as involved as possible with everything. You know, learn from the therapist and bring it home with you. And, you know, the consistency is really where I saw the progress with my kids.
Yeah, because the parent loves the child most of all, and they'll have more patience with that child. And I've seen a lot of the older people with autism and Asperger's, and their parents are the only ones that saved them going through school and all the things you have to go through in childhood, and because there wasn't any diagnosis of what they had, and they, you know, what kids can go through, and their parents are the only ones that saved some of the people I've met.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree.
So you're not going to sing for us?
I promise next time. I promise.
Okay, we'll hold you to that.
Okay.
Hey, Shayna, are you familiar with hubpages.com?
No, I'm not.
You should go there. There's a lot of writers, different things there, and Marilyn is there. And on my site, you can look. You can just do www.roberthewittsenior.com. roberthewittsenior.hubpages.com.
Okay.
And Hewitt is with an E, 2 E's, H-E-W-E-T-T.
He's a fantastic interviewer, and you'd be honored, really, to have him on to interview you, and you'll be all over Hub Pages.
I'd like to look at that. I'd like to talk to you about that. And Hub Pages has, it's growing leaps and bounds, and they have people all over the world. And on my website, I've got interviews I've done with people from Turkey and England and all over, as well as and different states all the way around the country.
Yeah, it reaches everywhere around the world, just like this radio, Blog Talk Radio. It reaches all around the world, and you can listen to this on demand. You don't, even if you can't miss it. Like a lot of people around the world are in bed, so you can get up in the morning and select it, and they can hear it all.
And they've got a new feature now. You can upload your videos directly to your Hub page.
I saw that. That's really great. And you probably have some, don't you, Shayna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have trouble finding it, we'll just talk to Marilyn. She can help you get there.
And you can friend Robert Hewitt. I'm sure that you can. Well, they won't let me friend.
Yeah, it will actually when you type that in .roberthewittsenior SR for senior .hubpages.com. It'll come up and say, sorry, that user does not exist. But if you look over on the upper right side there, it's got me right there. You just click on my name.
Okay.
Or you can go to hubpages.com and just do a search for Robert Hewitt Senior. Might be easier.
Oh, I'll be looking forward to see that interview.
And that and once you get to my page, then you can surf around and you'll find some really terrific writers on almost everything you'd want to think about.
That's wonderful. I look forward to that.
I'd like
do you want to hear another poem?
Yeah. I do.
This is a true story. I was 6 years old, and my brother was 10 at the time. And we had a pasture that we crossed to get to the country store down in Texas. And there was a mean cow in that pasture. And we knew it, and we watched for her and made sure she was on the other side, and then we swiftly crossed the pasture. But the day that this poem is about, we thought she wasn't there anymore, that she had died or they'd moved her or something. So here's the story. We were walking, laughing, and in no hurry as we crossed the pasture that day. We knew there was a mean cow in that pasture. We often came that way. excuse me, my brother aged 10 and me aged 6 on the way to the country store. We thought that mean cow was gone, so we just didn't look anymore. My brother suddenly turned and yelled, "Run, Bobby, run. She's right behind that tree." I'm running, fast as my little bare feet will go. My brother's flying ahead of me. Something ain't right here. He's my big brother. It should be between me and that cow, right? If he thought of that, it was a fleeting moment, and his feet never faltered their flight. That mean cow snorted and sounded, and I know how a hot breath feels. I'm a-running faster and faster, hot on my brother's flying heels. The barbed wire, 8 strands, loomed just ahead. My brother's bare feet hit the top strand. As he cleared the fence, my bare foot hit the second strand and the other one safe land. That mean cow slid to a stop and glared at us through the wires on that fence. The fact that we kept crossing that pasture is living proof we were quite dense.
You bring back such memories for me because I lived around farms when I would be in the pasture of cows and touch the electric fence. Stupid things like that.
Well, that was a great poem, Robert. I could see you and your brother just spinning across the field, the cow on your tail, and just jumping over the barbed wire fence. And
you know, when
she had us up trees other times, but never so close as that time.
My daughter's nurse had a cow like that, but they was eating it the next week.
They could be mean.
I grew up in the suburbs, so I don't have a lot of experience with cows and pastures and things like that.
Oh, you missed a lot. Milking, making butter, and getting shocked on that electric fence.
Yeah.
Real. That was dumb. Getting in water and touching a fence.
I did audits for the Department of Agriculture after I got out of college, and we had a chubby little girl just came on a new auditor, and we were out in this farm, and they had electric fence, and I told her, I said, be careful going under that fence because you'll get shocked. Well, she hit it, and
yeah, that's brutal. I'll never forget that.
Was a dig again. I guarantee you, she never touched another one.
them cows don't either.
Those cows learn that fence pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yep. Marilyn, do you think now's a good time for another one of Colin's songs?
I'd like to hear another. Would you like to hear one, Shayna?
I would. I would love that.
Yep. So we'll put on another one of his songs now, and we will be right back after this short break. That was another great song by Colin Brennan, and he actually performed this song at the talent competition he won back in May and performed in front of 1,000 people or so. And before we had access to this song in the Blog Talk Radio studio, I remember him coming on one of our shows just after the talent competition, and he sung this live over the air, just right on the spot. So he does such a great job with his music. Shayna, what did you think of that song?
I think he's exceptionally talented, and I'm so excited to see, how his career plays out. It's going to be fantastic. He's got such a beautiful voice.
And for a 10-year-old to be able, he speaks every word. You can understand every word he says. I know I'm kind of slangy and I'm working on my speech, but he has perfect speech.
He had a language delay as well. According to his father, Gordon, I don't think he spoke until he was about 6 or 7, and he started singing before he started speaking. And for the past 2 years, that's when he first started singing actively for the community and recording songs. But at the same time, he's just typical 10-year-old kid. He had his birthday back in July, and I made the mistake of saying that he was still 9 years old, and he got a little bit indignant. But at that age, you're very concerned about people getting your age right.
Yes, that's true. My son tells me every day. Yes. Oh my goodness, that's an incredible story. It really is.
Can your kids sing? Have you picked up on anything that they may be able to do well like that?
They're all so different, and that's what's wonderful about it. And they're really my teachers.
Yeah.
And I have to say, my oldest, his name is Stryker, and he is just so very detailed, and it's fantastic. Everything he does, he gives 110%. Most of his interests are actually in sports, which is wonderful. It's really kept him on track, and it's a wonderful positive reinforcement that we still use. And my 4-year-old, his name is Kendall. He is extremely smart, and he knows it. So therefore, he's oppositional. Yes, so we do have some behavioral challenges. I think with each one you do. But you know, he loves to. He's not a social, of course, and he really prefers to sit in the corner and read a book. He's reading at 4. Or, of course, he's obsessed with any sort of computer game or video game he could get his hands on as well. But my youngest is actually, and you know, he's not an ASD kid as far as we know right now. He's 3, and he does have a significant speech delay. And it's funny that you say this because he does nothing but walk around all day long singing anything and everything. Or even humming, and it's so incredible to me how he can memorize something so quickly. He'll hear a jingle, like a jingle on a commercial, and he'll memorize every single note and sing it back perfect. And
you're going to have
incredible.
A little calling on your hands, I think.
I'm in love. I'm just so in love with their gifts and how. You know, they're just these incredible individuals.
I have a memorization ability similar to that. I probably should mention that I'm a musician too. I play the clarinet. I played that for about 14 years now. And I started doing that when I was 10 years old in elementary school and still do it now. And when I was in marching band in high school, we had to memorize our music to perform on the football field while carrying through with the motions and being at the right place at the right time. And I found that I could memorize the music a lot easier than my classmates could just by listening to them play. I didn't have to put forward a lot of effort to do that, and I could probably still pick up my clarinet and play a good portion of my freshman year marching show, which took place about 10 years ago now. So
that is amazing. I always ask somebody if they played for years. Can you do that now? No. most adults say no, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, the funny thing is I can hardly remember the show for my senior year, but senior year was the first year that our marching band hadn't made state finals. It was kind of a more disappointing year in terms of like marching band performance and the way we didn't really cope with challenges as I had anticipated we would for the previous 3 years. And I can't remember that show at all. I guess it's just the significance that my first marching band show has compared to that one that makes it easier to remember. I mean, if I concentrate enough, I could literally play back that show in my head and kind of hum along with it, I think in a way similar to what your sons can do, Shayna, and that doesn't really just work with songs. I can memorize movies too. When I was younger and had a lot more time than I have now, I could listen to movies in my head. Like, I was particularly fond of Star Wars, and I can still do it a little bit, but it takes a lot more concentration than it did at that time when I was younger. I guess that's because I've come more out of myself than I was when I was younger. I wonder if there's a relationship between how outgoing someone on the spectrum is compared to how well that memorization ability works. But that's just speculation on my part.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Amazing feat.
Yeah.
My wife calls me her walking calculator. And we go to the grocery store, and she'll be comparing prices, and she'll give me the weight and the price and want to know the difference, you know. And I used to be able, when I was younger and in business, I could do calculations in my head really faster than most people could do them on the calculator. And they called me a walking telephone book because I could remember every telephone number I had contact with.
Well, that's where all your sons got their smarts, from you.
I don't know that I ever used it to any great advantage.
Well, you're here, and you're heard all around the world.
Marilyn, go ahead, Robert.
Shayna should hear my poem about not being able to sing, because I've always wanted to sing. In my mind I can sing, but it doesn't come out anything like what's in my mind. And I wrote a poem about called I Can't Sing. My wife kids were watching television, and I didn't want to do that, so I wrote this poem. She thought it was really funny because I get chased out of the woods by the hunters, and the horses stay and run away, and the dog howls, you know, and
I'd love to
stuff
hear
like that. And but people who can't sing think it's funny, but people who can sing kind of feel sorry for me, I think.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that poem. That'd be funny.
I remember a poem you read a couple months ago that I really liked, the one about the baseball pitcher pitching that perfect game, and he just kept on throwing.
Yeah, that was Papa Fire. He was an older guy, and he was playing the college all-stars, and he mowed them down. It was a baseball fantasy story.
Yep. Yeah, you have some great poems and stories, and I could listen to them all day long, couldn't you, Ryan?
Yep. There's certainly, you have a great natural way of speaking your poetry, Robert, that just flows very well and produces strong visual images, and there's always a moral to the poems that you write, the stories you tell. It's all about becoming a better person.
I have one about a toad and a flea that met under an oak tree, and the flea was taunting the toad, and the moral to the story is don't taunt somebody who's more capable than you. But anyway, those are. I write for different ages, and I haven't read much of my romantic poems, but sometimes when you guys want me to, I'll read some of them. I have some, maybe, I think some pretty good ones. But
yeah, we could use some love poems around here. Love makes the world go round.
Yes, that's true. Robert, have you actually made a book of your poems, or?
I have two books out. These are both children's books. One is called Down the Road We Came.
Okay.
And there's a poem in there by that name, and it's about me growing up with my two best friends in Texas, and it kind of goes through how our lives started and then how we got separated, you know. So, and then the book is filled with poems for children ages 5 to 12 generally.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'll be looking for those. Yeah.
You can find them on Amazon.com or on LuluPress.com. And you can, on both of those sites, you can download the either like a Kindle file or something, or just download the file. They're not very expensive if you do it that way.
Yeah, I'd like to see some of your poetry made into some children's songs because they're so funny, and I think that would be really neat. Maybe Shayna can pick one up and put a tune on it.
I have. There will be, as we near some of the holidays, I've got some. I'll be reading for you, if I'm still invited. Read for you some Christmas poems. One's about Blue Ridge Christmas magic, about the little town in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia, and another is about the perfect Christmas tree, and it's about a big blue spruce kind of bragging how great he is, and he'll be the first one selected, and he gets the surprise. He gets the surprise.
Well, you're always welcome here, and Shayna and Cassidy that come on our show any night, and any Wednesday that we're here, you're always welcome. And Shayna, do you want to tell us any more about how you are presenting your music and what you're going to be doing next?
I think our future plans for Songs for Autism, well, first, we are going through all the legal documentations, which are costly, so I've been saving for those because it's just me right now. But we do have some, free sites up with some great music from friends of mine who have donated songs just to have it on the site, and hopefully future albums. But I really hope one day to really get more participation from other songwriters here in town, and hopefully be able to really help support early intervention services here. And
have you
be a
talked
part
to
of that.
Have you talked to any of the country stars there?
Yeah, I have some contacts which I have tried to reach, and it is a little bit of a negative experience at first. Unfortunately, there are some people that just they have no interest in doing such things. They're not all Taylor Swift, so. But we will. I really believe if we just keep pushing forward that we will have some response, because music speaks to everyone, and I think how we're different in what we want to do is we want music of all genres. Of course, we have guidelines. We want it to be family oriented, but we don't necessarily want it to be about autism, but just songs that people love, because we want a broader audience to go ahead and buy that album and make that donation and support early intervention. So that's really our goal for the future.
Well, we'd like to
keep tracking.
We'd like to invite you to you can send any of your music here if you would let us play it for you here, and send it MP3 style, and it will be put on our shows, and we can play it like we play call-ins now, if you'd ever want us to do that, and then we would advertise it. It would be from, who it would be played by you and your organization and stuff like that. But we would like to invite you to send us any of your music if you'd want us to play it.
Okay, yeah, that would be wonderful. I will do that.
Great.
Shayna, if you don't mind taking my email, you can reach me at hewittsenior@gmail.com.
Okay.
And send me some of the links to your sites. I'd like that.
And he'll interview you.
Thank you
you're
so
being
much.
Set up. Shayna, I think you're being set up.
My interview's on there too. You can listen to it. It'd be on his site, I imagine. It was.
You're still, Marilyn. You're still getting hits every day or so on your interview.
Is that right? Oh,
and and the others are. You remember the poem I wrote about the bumblebee?
Yeah.
It's had over 600 hits on the hub pages.
Good job.
Well, it's a cool, very cool poem.
And I published it in a Nature anthology here recently, and
perfect place for it.
Yeah, it was that someone did a review of the book, and they highlighted that poem as one of them. So I don't know why. I never expected it to be so, but every day it gets 3 or 4 hits.
Well, our bumblebees are in trouble, and we need to start not spraying so much or something, because I know we've had a lot of trouble with the bees this year, and they haven't been producing as much honey, and they've been dying. Their hives have been dying, and we just don't want to. I don't even know if we can live without the bees. They do a lot of work.
Bumblebees hardly ever sting you. You have to really corner them to get them to sting you. But that doesn't mean you want to go up and swat them or anything. But, you can generally, they'll fly all around you. They won't get too close, and if you wave your arm, they'll fly away.
Yeah, that seems to heal it. I know people that do get stung by purpose because they'll have afflictions like that, and it seems to heal it up.
Yeah. Well, if you're allergic to bee stings, you don't want to get stung by any bee.
That's true.
But the yellow jackets, of course, are much more aggressive.
Yeah, I like them.
Well, I'm going to get off now. Shayna, nice to meet you, and
very
Cassidy,
nice to meet you too.
And Marilyn and Ryan, thank you for letting me come on and read.
You're welcome. We're glad to have you here.
We love you, Bob.
I love you too.
Good night. Good night.
Yep, we're just about out of time tonight. So, Marilyn, do you have any messages you want to give out? We've got about a minute left.
I just want to give a shout out to Sandra Lang. She's sick tonight, and hope that she feels better. Joe wanted to tell her to get well soon, and I'm sure you guys want to tell her to get well soon too. She has bronchitis.
Yeah, I've had that before. At one point when I was in high school, I had to have an inhaler for that, and not very pleasant, but we hope that Sandra feels better soon. And it's been a great broadcast tonight, and thank you, Shayna, for coming on with us tonight. It's been a great show, and wish you the best of luck in your endeavors with Music of Autism.
Thank you so much.
We encourage you to go into the Positively Autistic sites, and you can put anything you have on there and join us in helping raise awareness of autism, and we can help each other. And we need each other to get this done, that's for sure.
That's
true.
Very
true.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time, and I really enjoyed speaking with you. And thank you.
Was fun. Come back, and we'll do it again.
Okay, I will.
Okay. All right.
Thanks so much, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Shayna.
Bye.
Remember to tune into the Poet's Interests with Marilyn and Ryan every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. UK time, and 3 p.m. Pacific Time. And also make sure to tune into Cassidy Eden's new show, which will premiere tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, and 11 p.m. UK time. So the same time as tonight's show, and it'll be great. Cassidy will be our new host, and I'll be the co-host of that broadcast. So it'll be a great.
Welcome all the teens. Come on in, and we'll have a nice time and get to know each other.
If I was a teen about 5 years ago, but
I'm not too far away from it. I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, so.
If I do, I'm way far over.
Yep, so we had a great broadcast tonight. And Marilyn, do you have any more messages you want to give?
Just our next show will be an artistic show, and you will really love it. This man has fantastic art. You'll want to tune in and learn how to do maybe some of the artwork that he does.
What is the name of our guest?
His name will be... What was his name?
I'm just wondering if it's Frank Allen, because I've had Frank on my programs before, and he...
No. It's Michael Tollison. He's on Facebook.
Yep, so it'll be...
Michael Tollison.
Yep, so that will be a great broadcast next week. Tune in at the same time. It'll be a great show, and thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We're out of time now, and Marilyn, do you have anything else?
Just want to tell everybody good night and come back.
Yep, everyone have a great night. Bye.
See ya. Bye, Cassidy.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather.
The co-host of the new show with Cassidy, and do you want to talk a little bit about the broadcast you were going to do tomorrow, Cassidy?
Yes. The broadcast tomorrow will be about my diagnosis with Asperger's syndrome and how it affected me and the issues that went with it, and it should be a great show. So, I'm going to talk about that, and yeah, so it should be great.
Yep, it will be a great show tomorrow. Everyone on the spectrum, we all have our own story. When you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism. Each one of us is very different from one another, but by sharing each of our stories, we might help someone else who is struggling with similar problems at another stage of their life. And I believe very strongly that someone on the autism spectrum, under the right conditions, can literally change the world. And through those right conditions, it helps to have a good support group, and that's what we try to do here with Positively Autistic and everything.
That's fantastic.
Yep, so yeah, that's it. Are you still there, Marilyn?
I like that. Yes, I like that poem. I know I've had a lot of anxiety, more than I think I even have ever known. I think a person doesn't even really understand what it is, and I know I've had to be doctored for it lately, and it's really helped a lot. So there is a lot of help out there for anxiety, and I just encourage everybody to go to your doctor or anybody to help with that, because it keeps you from doing so many things in life, and there is help out there, right, Ryan?
Yep, there is, and that help is available at places where you might not expect, such as conversing any anxiety you might have with your friends or family, or just sometimes just letting it out is the best way to do it. And I think that's a good point right there, right, Marilyn?
Yeah, and I know music helps, and Shayna's here to tell us all about what she does with music to raise awareness of autism and help everybody on the spectrum, and really everybody in the world is helped by music, right, Shayna?
That's right. They really are. And I definitely have anxiety myself, just to let you guys know, as well. And I am currently getting treated for that, because it has gotten in the way of a lot of things that I like to do. So I really enjoyed your poem, Ryan. I think that was just beautiful, and it really says so much. Sometimes, we can't put it in words, and so I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. Do you find that playing music or performing music helps your anxiety, Shayna?
Well, I do when I'm by myself, but at home it can actually trigger it, or outside, when you go and play a show, of course you get really nervous, and but I try to put it in a positive direction, I remind myself that it's what I love to do, and I just move forward.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. We have another caller with us right now. Can you hear us all right? Cassidy?
Yes, this is Cass. Yes.
Glad you...
Hi, Cassidy.
Hi, Cass.
Cassidy's going to be our new talk show hostess for teens. It's going to be called Positively Autistic, the Teen Scene. And I know it's going to be a great show, and it's going to start Thursday. I believe, Ryan, are you going to be there with her? And I believe, aren't you, Ryan?
Yep, I'm going to be... we can get started with questions right now if you're ready, Marilyn. Shayna, where are you from?
I currently live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona.
You're in the heart of music land.
I am.
Yep. Have you been to the old Opry House?
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of wonderful music here. The Grand Ole Opry, and we have the Ryman.
Yeah.
And we have a brand new convention center that's actually being built right now. So lots of good stuff.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the Songs for Autism?
Sure. It kind of started off as just a dream, like most things do. And basically, it's an up-and-coming nonprofit that I'm starting, and it's to benefit awareness for early intervention services in Tennessee. We have, unfortunately, not a lot of funding here in Tennessee, and the Insurance Reform Act has not been passed here. So a lot of families are struggling financially, and a lot of children, especially between the ages of 1 and 5, are not receiving proper early intervention services.
In my
Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
Hello, welcome to the Poet's Interests with Marilyn and Ryan. I am Ryan Cummins, the co-host of tonight's broadcast, and Marilyn Ann Francis is the host of today's broadcast. Hi, Marilyn.
Hi, Ryan. Nice to hear you, and I'm glad that everyone's here tonight, and Shayna's here, that we get to ask her a lot of questions about what she's doing to help raise awareness to autism, and it's going to be a great show.
Yep, and I'm actually going to start off the broadcast with a poem tonight, and just to give a little bit of background information, I'm on the autism spectrum myself. I was diagnosed with pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, when I was about 12 years old, and as a result of being on the spectrum, I've dealt with a lot of anxiety, which is not a very pleasant experience, and I wrote a poem to try to describe the feeling that is associated with anxiety, so I'll read that right now, and then we can get to the questions you have, Marilyn, in just a couple minutes. Irrational fear grips me at the times when I am most vulnerable, when I am anxious. It is at these times when my decisions seem irrelevant, my accomplishments seem null. Everything I am is dictated by my fears. My feelings determine all. Such are the challenges of anxiety.